This could be a major week at the Supreme Court leading into either the end of this week, early next week. But certainly there are going to be moves at the U.S. Supreme Court right now. The big outlier right now, Dad, is the brief from the Trump campaign officially.
Yeah, so far there has not been filed yet a petition for writ of certiorari by the Trump organization, the Trump campaign. But let me be clear on something here. I think it's important for people to understand, and that's this. Because we filed on behalf of Colorado, the former president stays on the ballot pending this disposition. So this date that everybody talked about, January 4th, which would be tomorrow, has already been met. The problem is, I think the court wants to do an expeditious review, and we've asked for it to be expedited. The respondents, Greenwald and also Anderson, these are the people that brought the lawsuit, or the Secretary of State, want it expedited. They agreed with us. The case should be heard. Our case should be heard. I'm sure Trump's case should be heard, and it should be expedited. The difficulty right now is, until that petition is filed by President Trump, it's going to be hard-pressed to expedite anything, Andy, because issues not fully joined.
The Supreme Court, in my view, is not going to do anything until it hears from President Trump. And President Trump's certiorari petition is expected, I hope, soon. But I think before the Supreme Court takes any action, they want all the persons who are involved to be before it, and especially that includes President Trump. We
filed our petition for certiorari. There it is. I'm putting it up on the screen now. Okay? That has been filed with the Supreme Court. We now have a court number 23696, docketed with the court. The other side, Anderson and Greenwald, that's the Secretary of State and the petitioners that actually brought the case, that has been filed. Okay, so that's already up there. There's, well, that's ours. No, that's the brief in support. That's theirs. And they agree, by the way, if you read it, it says brief in support of partial grant of certiorari. They agree that with us, at least 2 questions of the 3 should be granted. Then we are now preparing. I've got a red pen in my hand today because I've been drafting. Our team put together an excellent first draft. A really first-class first draft of what's called our brief in response to the reply brief to the briefs in opposition. That's a draft of it right now. We'll either get that in late today or first thing in the morning. Issue for us will be joined. And what people need to understand, when issue is joined, the court could technically take action at the Friday conference. Now, my gut feeling is like Andy's. I think they hold it pending getting everything together. But I don't know that. We don't know that. This thing's moving very, very quickly.
The Trump campaign being the, I guess you'd say, main party in this.
Yeah.
When they file, that could significantly change what questions are.
Yeah, it depends on what their questions presented are. We don't know.
Right. If President Trump did file today, the Supreme Court could issue an order as soon as Friday. Explain to our audience, when you say order there, what that could encompass.
Okay, so here's what happens. We have filed our cert petition. The other side has responded to that. We are responding today to their, it's called a reply brief. We're filing that today. The case at that point is packaged, basically, and it's sent up to the justices for conference. The conference is Friday. Now, if the Trump campaign gets theirs in today, the other side will respond tomorrow, and that will be packaged up to conference. In the conference, they can decide 3 things. They could decide we're going to hold it for a while and get more information. Of course, they could deny certiorari, not likely. They could grant certiorari, limited to questions 1 and 3 or 2 and 1 or whatever they decide, and set forth a very quick briefing schedule. Or we may hear nothing. And that may be, Andy, and this is something you and I have talked about, that they could be working on what's called a per curiam opinion.
A per curiam opinion is an opinion that literally per curiam is Latin for through the court. In other words, it is authored anonymously. In other words, no particular justice's name is going to appear upon it. But it's going to be that suggests to me the possibility, if it's a per curiam opinion on this matter, the possibility, Jay, that it may be a unanimous opinion as well.
I'm explaining the process so people understand how quickly this thing is moving. I mean, we've got a team working on it right now. We got our draft brief came in at about 12:02 last night. We're all making some edits. As we're on the air right now, the team's working on it.
Yeah.
And that's why we've got our Supreme Court Victory Fund up. If you want to participate in that, go to aclj.org, make your tax-deductible gift, and that'll be doubled for the next few days. Kind of help us get some funds just for this case. And by the way, you ACLJ champions, here's the great thing. You're part of that. You're part of the reason we can do this. And we had so many of you join us last year, because we got up to 18,936. I think it's still about the same today, that we were able to increase a little bit. So we encourage you there.